Hi, this is Randall here in Texas.
And I'm Matt, here in Michigan. Today, Randall and I are taking a look at a little bit different movie, taking a different approach this week. We're looking at 1989's Redneck Zombies. It stars Lisa DeHaven, William Benson, William Decker, and James Housley. It is directed by Pericles Lunes. He did special effects in other Troma films, including the second and third Toxic Avenger movies and Troma's War. Now, before we go any further, if you like this review, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also, hit subscribe and ring that bell to get notified about our other videos.
Now, I have to tell everyone that this was a viewer request from my own sister, so thank you for that one, Courtney. This is coming out just the day after Mother's Day, so I'm just going to consider it a late Mother's Day present to my sister. In Redneck Zombies, we find that the government has kind of lost a very important barrel of nuclear waste. It is claimed and stolen by a family of rednecks who turn it into a still to make their moonshine, and then the impending zombie apocalypse happens whenever someone drinks some of that moonshine. This was not very well received by audiences at all, and it was shot entirely on tape and released direct to video.
Hey everyone, while Randall and I were recording this review, we forgot to mention the 1986 Jeep Comanche for a special segment that we like to call Cars and Movies. But now that we got that all cleared up, let's get back to the review.
Matt, you are an aficionado of bad movies. You had a bad movie night in college. Where does this one rank for you?
Oh my goodness. I do like bad movies, but sadly, I'm not a fan of this one. For me, I think this movie was kind of meant to be bad, but like not in a good way.
We knew that we were pretty much making a bad film.
I think there's some elements that make good bad movies, and I think the creators of this movie kind of knew that and were aiming for it, but for me, it's a miss. I really did not enjoy this film at all. What about you, Randall?
So I think that is a bad film, obviously, but at least it's like you can sit back and just say, I don't care. I'm gonna laugh at this ridiculousn't, because it is utterly, sheerly ridiculous.
Put that thing away, boy!
It's a good razor.
Hey, what you doing? Hey, no taking my truck! Holy shit, man!
What would have been nice is if the filmmakers actually had a plot. Like, there's really not much in the way of plot. It's just like, well, what would happen if there were some rednecks, and then let's throw some stereotypes in there and make them zombies, you know? But there are obvious things that this takes from. Obviously, the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, you know, it's looking at that and saying, hey, we can do those special effects. And it is also maybe kind of like Troll 2 territory, but much, much worse than Troll 2.
Yeah, Randall, I agree. I'm actually a big fan of Troll 2, and kind of talking about the script and stuff and the story. I do think the script and story is a bit lazy. It's almost like they're like, hey, let's make a zombie film, but let's have it deal with rednecks. And, you know, for like script, you know, we'll just reference other well-known movies and then just put in some lines here and there that are from other well-known movies.
Now, what we have here is a failure to communicate.
It so does. It's an utter absolute ripoff all the time of everything else, mixed in with just some of the worst stereotypes about rednecks that you could possibly have. But I want to not just dwell on anything that's bad about the film. I do want to give it some kudos where kudos are deserved. Couple of things. The transformation scene where everyone starts turning into zombies is so like late 80s, early 90s synth music video kind of look to it. And I thought that was an interestingly, decently well done. Kind of like almost LSD trippy, I guess. But the other thing is there are some decently compelling zombie bits in here where the zombies look okay and the gore looks okay. The rule, it's definitely the exception, but every once in a while it's like, you know what, this is pretty good looking. And I'll give him props for that. You know, that was in places decently well done.
Yes, I agree with it. And some of the promotion of this film, what trailer they had for this direct to video movie was basically like, yes, like more of that gore and stuff than Dawn of the Dead kind of things.
It makes Dawn of the Dead look like Mary Poppins.
That's definitely what they were trying to go for in this film, and I think that I give it props for that too. And there's like one character too that I guess was somewhat enjoyable. I mean, you could kind of see the stick coming for a while, and it's the guy that's constantly drinking alcohol and somehow getting out of every like risky situation. I mean, I think in one little part in like within like 2 minutes, he's drinking from like 3 different bottles, just chugging down these liquor bottles and stuff too. One of the things you're talking about, like the transformation of the zombies, I thought that was pretty good, but there's some other scenes where our characters are either like, high or drunk or other things are going on, and there's just like I would say like video effects where we just get like flashing lights and changing color stuff. I thought those scenes went on a little bit too long. I mean, it could be an interesting effect, like, hey, yeah, we're making a B movie. This is kind of a wink and a nod to other like B movies and stuff. But I just thought those scenes went on way too long.
This is a solid E movie. What are you talking about, B movie? Dang. So some of the things that were particularly egregious to me was just, like I'd mentioned, the stereotypes are bad because it plays 100% on stereotypes. But also just like, all right, kids and the baby and the mother's giving, the baby moonshine and it's green. It's like, what? And like there's a scene where there's a couple of kids who just find some and they just start drinking it. Or the hikers, they just come across it and like, oh, it's green. And they just, like maybe are about to drink it. Like, what? No. Who comes across mason jars in the middle of nowhere filled with green liquid and just immediately starts drinking them?
Because the story doesn't make any sense. They have to, Randall. They have to drink it. And it's kind of interesting, too. Like, our main character, how much does she go through at the end? Like, how much does she actually go through to, like, get out of different stuff? We're kind of like, all right, she's still alive? How is she still alive? Like, how is she getting out of this? How is she getting out of this?
Yes. How does she escape this when everyone else is, like, completely incapable of escaping?
Exactly. And heck, for half the time, she's just laying up against that tree, just, like, screaming or whatever the whole time. Like, zombies are getting everything, and she's still at that same tree, screaming, as they keep cutting back and forth. She had to have been there for, like, a good solid, like, 5 minutes or something before any zombies were really coming after her.
I don't know. We have the other character who's like Wilbur or something. The, token black guy for our horror film here, basically. He is stereotyped, oh my god, so bad. It's like, okay, he's the one who's super high and who's tripping and everything, and then he's freaking out in the situation. And I'm like, no, that is so awfully done. Like, there's no people act like that in real life. Barely even people act like that in movies. Who wrote that?
Yep, it's crazy, dissecting, like, oh, you gotta dissect this person to find out, what was wrong with them and everything. I think there's a lot of things, like I was mentioned, that they saw in, like, other movies and don't really put any explanation of why that's in their film. They're just kind of like, yeah, we want some of this in our movie, so let's just throw it in kind of thing, and then we'll just try to connect the dots a little bit to try to get this scene in here.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you guys, this is not a good film, but if you're into just, like, trashy, bad films, and you just want to laugh at something that was just absolutely awful, then fine, go for that. It's absolutely not going to satisfy someone who's looking for a good, fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I normally like laughing at, like, really bad movies, and I couldn't even do this. And I will say one thing, I absolutely hated the ending and what they did with our main character, how they were kind of trying to set up for a sequel. To me, I think it was just lazy writing to put that in there, and I think they could have done so much better to try to explain what they were going for to make a sequel. It just didn't make any sense at all to have it, and I really think that last part was in bad taste.
Most of the movie's in bad taste, but that part in particular was in really bad taste. Yes. So, 100%. You know what? We have lots of movies on our YouTube page that aren't so bad as this one, so please go check out those reviews. We also have other flashback movie reviews, we have new movie reviews, we have TV series reviews, and we get into some deeper conversations with our call-up episodes.
Also, be sure to check out our Facebook page. We always post the day before our videos come out to let you know what our next video is going to be. Randall and I also post some other interests that we like, mostly Star Wars and Star Trek, but we throw some other stuff in there as well. Be sure to check out our other videos when they come out. They come out every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Matt here in Michigan. Have a good day.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. I will see everyone next time.
Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.